Everyone, and welcome to week 19. Have you ever found yourself working on a piece of music and felt that you really weren't that inspired, or maybe the song just wasn't singing to you? I think it's pretty safe to say that all of us as musicians have felt creative writer's block at some point or another. And I myself have found some features that are inside of Record and Reason that have helped me out of this writer's block. And I'd like to share with you some of the tips and tricks that I use to break writer's block right now. There are many times when I'm writing that I feel like I hit a wall when it comes to a melody or a theme. I might come up with something that I kinda like, but for some reason I just can't come up with a different feel for a chorus or a bridge or even a change or turn in the song. It's times like these that I turn to the alter notes or pattern function. Basically, what alter notes or alter pattern does is it takes the notes that you've played or programmed and switches them around. It does not randomize or create new notes or put them in a different place in the pattern. This is very useful for anything from redrum or matrix patterns, and also on clips or notes in a clip that you've played in. The amount of percentage that you choose is going to affect how much the alter notes function will change your music. Alter pattern doesn't have any selection for percentage. Here I have a simple 4-bar piece of music. I've programmed the drums using a redrum and played a bass part, and also used a Rex loop for the guitar part. I want to come up with a different drum pattern for the last bar. Copy the pattern that you've programmed, and then select the next drum pattern slot. Now paste the pattern into that slot. With that pattern selected, choose Alter Pattern from the Edit menu and listen to what happens. I usually do this a few times, and then I choose the one that I like best, possibly editing a few parts to make it feel right. And just like that, I now have a drum pattern that I can use for a turn in the song. Let's do the same with the bass line. Since it's just a 1-bar part, I want to change every other bar. Select the clip and press F8 on the QWERTY keyboard. Next, click on the Tools tab and look down toward the bottom for Alter Notes. If you can't see it, try folding in some of the other tool options and you should see it towards the bottom. I'm going to choose a high percentage value, since I really want a big change here. Then just click on Apply, and you will see and hear the difference. Now, if you played a part that doesn't have much going on, let's say like a straight quarter note pattern with no chord progression, then you're probably not going to see or hear any difference, since there's really not much there for it to alter. But something with 8th notes or 16th notes and some chord or note changes will definitely give you some good results. Now I'm going to do the same on the guitar Rex file. And just like that, I've taken my somewhat monotonous music phrase and made it more interesting. A feature that we added in Reason version 4 that kinda gets overlooked a bunch is the ReGroove Mixer. I find that most of the time when I talk with people, they just do not understand what it is and how it works. For me, the ReGroove Mixer is an unending source of inspiration and a way to really breathe some life into dull, robotic ideas I might have just lying around. Take this example here. As you can see, I have some drum parts, a bass line, and a guitar part. Now this is sounding pretty robotic and just doesn't have any feel whatsoever. Let's start applying some ReGroove patches to the drums first. If you've never used ReGroove, there are a couple of things you should know about it first. Over here is where you select the ReGroove channel or patch for the track or note lane. Here is where you pull up the ReGroove Mixer and load patches and turn channels on and off, and also tweak settings. In Reason, it's going to be in the bottom right-hand side of your transport bar. Just look for that ReGroove logo. The other thing is that since ReGroove only works on notes or data that's in a clip, if I try to apply a ReGroove patch to this drum pattern that I have, I'm not going to hear it until I actually copy the pattern track to notes. To do this on ReDrum or the Matrix, select the device in the rack and then select Copy Pattern to Track in the Edit menu. If I had programmed the track where there are a few pattern changes, then I would select the track in the sequencer and then select Convert Pattern Track to Notes. Note that it will only copy the parts to one note lane in between the L and R markers. Since I'm using the Record Reason Duo here, I can split out then one note lane into separate lanes for each drum part using the Extract Notes to Lanes and then Explode function in the tool window down here. Those of you using Reason only, you need to do this manually for now, but have no fear, Reason 5 will have this function as well. Now I'm going to select a few different ReGroove patches in the ReGroove Mixer window. Let's choose an MPC 60 64% shuffle for channel A1, President from the vinyl folder for A2, and Mothership for A3. I'm going to apply the 64% shuffle on all the drum parts except for the hats. Those I will choose the President groove for. Remember that you need to turn on the channel in the ReGroove Mixer in order to hear it. Now I'll make some adjustments to the groover mount and slide to get the feel I'm after. Next, let's do this to the bass line using the Mothership groove. Wow, as you can hear, quite a difference there. I really like this feel, so I'm going to have the guitar Rex file play back with that same feel to it. But I want it to lag just a bit behind the beat. So I will select the Mothership groove on slot A4 and increase the slide a little bit, and then select that on the guitar track. If you listen to that same song without ReGroove applied, there's quite a difference. Well, those are just a few of the tips or tricks and techniques that I use to break out of writer's block, and I really hope that they help you to break it as well. Time really doesn't permit me to go over everything that I'd like to go over, but here's another one to try. What if you took a drum pattern and take those parts and play them on a synth part? If you do that, you'd have a synth bass line that's completely locked in with the drum parts. You'd have to switch around some notes here and there. Well, that's all I got time for this week, and I will see you all next week with another tip or trick. I'm James Bernard. Thanks again. See you next week.